with not a lot of interceptions, particularly the starting five tonight. Tristan Jackson has the only one.
Harris Jackson seldom used this season, dominantly on special teams, not getting a lot of action, only his 6th catch of the season, but Harris Jackson hauls that in. It'll be 2nd down now, and the Lions are going to quickly line up.
A lot of shuffling going on in that receiving corps for BC. We've seen Marco Iannuzzi. Kier Johnson comes in to replace Harris Jackson on the most recent substitution.
2nd down, 3 yards to go. Lulay trying to bark some signals out over this din. Looks to the air again. Another passing play. Lulay downfield and coming back for the football. Incomplete for Kier Johnson. Once again, it'll be Paul McCallum, the former Roughrider, coming out to boot it back to Saskatchewan.
And the Roughriders continue to be aggressive in those 2nd down passing situations. Secondary pressure coming off both edges. We're used to seeing Craig Butler, who plays in frequently in their nickel package, lining up at the line, blitzing. Picked up by Andrew Harris there, and it's a good way for the Riders to keep Andrew Harris out of the pattern for BC.
Once again, Jock Sanders is back. And the West Virginia Mountaineer finds the seam, and he brings it up to the 25-yard line. There's the big game player, one of the littlest receivers in the league, but he is Mr. Clutch. But against the BC Lions during the regular season, he has not found the end zone.
No, and Weston Dressler, a trend that kind of continues for him this year in terms of not having his biggest games against the Lions. There you see the career touchdown catches for him team by team. A big 0 opposite BC, but even look at his numbers this year. Dressler comes into this week the top 5 in the league in receiving, but averages about 50 yards fewer per game against BC than he does against the other 6 clubs this year.
Direct snap to Corey Sheets. Sheets brought down by Adam Bighill, but a 1st down again. Corey Sheets really added a little extra boost to the Saskatchewan running game this season.
Sheets turned in his first 100-yard game a couple of weeks ago, but has been consistent, has a great nose for the end zone, good receiver out of the backfield. It's been a nice fit within this offense, and in a spot where certainly they needed a fresh set of legs.
13-yard scamper on the direct snap to Corey Sheets. Durant will send out his receivers. Has some time and decides now to let it go and throw it to his bench. Had a running lane, and then that was quickly taken away by the BC Lions, who converged on the fleet-footed Darian Durant.
Well, nothing comes of that play for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but I like the play call, like the philosophy there for Saskatchewan, trying to move the pocket around a little bit. They can't have Darian Durant sitting in the pocket against the BC Lions. He's going to end up getting hit, getting pressured. That's what resulted in the 3 interceptions, or what led to the 3 interceptions that he threw the last time these two teams played. I think Darian Durant got a little jittery about seeing orange jerseys in his face all night.
No picks last week against Calgary in the win. No picks over his last 3 games, and the Riders have been winning when he does not throw an interception. And there is Weston Dressler. Now, Weston Dressler's numbers may be down against the BC Lions, but he does have a career high so far this season, 7 touchdowns, and he still has a third of the season to go.
Yeah, and Darian Durant is going to try to get the ball to Weston Dressler however he can. He's well aware that the Lions traditionally have tried to take Dressler and have successfully taken Dressler out of the offense, limiting his production severely. But from Durant's point of view, he recognizes this is weapon 1, option 1 within their offense. They've got to find creative ways to get him the football.
160 yards away from 1,000. We'll hit screen again to Jock Sanders. Well, Darian Durant knows that the BC Lions do have a bullseye on number 7.
They know how to take away your best player. They know how to make it tough on you as an offense to, pile up the yardage like you usually do. So, we're wary of that. We know that in order for us to have success, then Dress has to get the ball and get a lot of touches, because he's a guy, the more touches he gets, the better he gets as the game goes.
Close to the midway point of this first quarter. No points yet. Fifth play of this drive. There's the rush. Little screen pass now for Sheets. Little dodge. Ducks a tackle. Adam Bighill back to make the play again, but a penalty flag back at the Saskatchewan 48-yard line.
I suspect you may see something in the way of an illegal block downfield on that screen, given the area and timing of the flag being thrown.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 66. 10-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Al Bradbury is our referee tonight.
Chris Best, the veteran guard for the Riders, flagged on the play. Best forced to play center the last time the two teams met. A little bit out of his element in that role, a veteran guy. But things are a little bit different in the middle, especially against a defense like the Lions.
Again, the Lions, no Khalif Mitchell tonight. Jabbar Westerman takes his place. They rush three. Durant in the pocket, slings it out. And making the catch is Scott McHenry, the former Blue Bomber. McHenry, fifth catch on the season. But it'll be third down, well short of the first down.
Yeah, BC Lions not leaving a lot of options there for Darian Durant in a second and very long situation. Weren't going to back themselves up past the sticks and just try and force Durant to throw it in front of them, come up and make the play exactly as they did.
Again, no Tim Brown, the dangerous returner, out with a bruised collarbone. So Marco Iannuzzi this time has nowhere to go. Zeros on the board. Saturday night in Regina. 37th straight start for Travis Lulay. His team 24-12 during that time, and this touchdown streak that dates back to last season, 23 straight games with a touchdown pass. That's number 2 overall. The record, Sam Echeverry, 34 straight back in the 50s with the Montreal Alouettes. The battle of field position and defenses so far. Lulay heaves it out, and making a good catch is Arland Bruce. Tristan Jackson cut him down.
Well, Tristan Jackson's the corner out to the wide side of the field. The guy who earned his reputation initially in this league as a kick returner. But as time has gone on and he's had an opportunity to play DB, he's shown that he's a pretty fierce hitter in the secondary as well.
Second down 1. Rolly Lambala now in the backfield with Travis Lulay. And a fumble. And Lulay pounces on it. Miscommunication.
The timing there is Arland Bruce is the slot back. He's motioning across the backfield. Timing-wise, in the wrong place at the wrong time. He looked like he knew it was coming and tried to hop over that football. Didn't get the feet up.
The good news for the BC Lions, it's not quite the way you'd want to execute a first down plunge, but they get the first down play on the fumble recovery. This is a team that has only fumbled 4 times all season long. Only 15 turnovers. On pace for a CFL record. Bruce had a dodge outside up near the 40-yard line, picked up about 3 or 4. And once again, Tristan Jackson was able to spy him.
Well, Jackson doing a nice job stepping up to force that play. Getting an opportunity to start on the corner this week. Jackson out wide. Bruce is going to motion out to become part of the cluster. Those guys blocking for him, but he fights off the block of Sean Gore to come up and make a play. Got Eddie Russ injured sitting out this game, so Terrell Mays moves in from corner to halfback to replace him. Tristan Jackson gets an opportunity again at the field corner.
Second down play again. Lions lead the league in second down conversions. There's a penalty flag, likely a hold, and a sack for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Diamond Ferry was in on the play. Jay Alford getting a chance on that defensive line in the interior to get a start here tonight. Again, the Riders without some key personnel.
Illegal contact on receiver, Saskatchewan,
Whoa.
number 41. Holding, BC, number 64. Both penalties will balance, second down repeat.
So they'll repeat second down. Illegal contact call downfield. Negated the holding call in the sack.
The center, Angus Reid, the man called for holding. Downfield. And G-Roy Simon on the inside. You see the hands of the defender around his waist. That's the illegal contact.
So a redo, 2nd and 7. Over the top, threading the needle and making an outstanding catch. Superman does it again. G-Roy Simon will move the sticks. 12-yard pickup.
And you watch the reaction of the defender, Chris McKenzie, on this play, and it's sort of a, what else can I do to stop this guy? He's step for step with G-Roy Simon on this play. As you can call him, Superman. Makes plays that other people just can't.
Simon's second catch. Already the CFL's all-time receiving yardage leader, moving closer to the all-time receptions mark as well. Play action, good time here, a lot of steamboats for Lula. And he goes downfield. This time, Superman can't come down with it.
Good coverage downfield. Try to get to Simon again. Lions go to a little bit of play action here. Use the mobility of Travis Lulay to get to the outside, but Tristan Jackson off to a pretty good start here in the first quarter. The one G-Roy Simon in retrospect would likely like to have back.
7th play of this drive now. First quarter that has flown, but no points. Lulay, look at the time. Now Odell Willis, and Lulay takes off. And Travis Lulay very close to a first down. Odell Willis thought he had Travis Lulay trapped. And that is the strength of number 14's game. He's the CFL's leading rushing quarterback.
Nice job here done by the Lions offensive line. They get things stacked up. Odell Willis escapes late, but Travis Lulay, the CFL's number 1 rushing quarterback, adds to his total. Not quite enough for the first down on that play.
Looks like about 1.5 yards, but they are not going to go for it. Field position paramount so far. And Paul McCallum angles it out of bounds. And a penalty flag downfield. Had to go out of bounds in the air inside the 20, and it did not. McCallum doesn't like it. Rider fans don't like McCallum. Within the CFL rules, you must punt the ball. If it goes out of bounds in the air between the 20s, there's a penalty. And Gaynor, the Gopher, helping the official here. And Paul McCallum wasn't too happy about the call. In that replay, it looked like it did travel out of bounds near that 20-yard line. Darian Durant is in trouble, gets out of it. Jock Sanders with running room. Sanders still on his feet. Dante Marsh shoves him out of bounds into BC territory. What a play, making something out of nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what page you'd find this on in Harry Houdini's autobiography, but a great escape there from Darian Durant to turn that into a big play. One of his new favorite weapons, Jock Sanders. Durant just disappeared into a cloud of BC Lion defenders. Suddenly popped back out and threw the pass.
Sanders providing a bit of a two-handed punch in that backfield now as Chris Getzlaff makes the catch. There was some concern. You can see that wrap that he has on his elbow, that Getzlaff might not be able to go this week. Hyperextended his elbow last week in the win against the Calgary Stampeders. Chris Getzlaff has never missed a game in his entire career.
Big body, stereotypical tough Canadian slot.
Yes, he is. Second short yardage. Drew Willie in the game. Corey Sheets goes forward and churns very close to that first down. And look at who's in on the tackle. Solomon Elimimian along with Adam Bighill. The Lions have talked about this since Elimimian came back from the NFL tryouts. Did not make the Cleveland Browns nor the Minnesota Vikings. How do you get Elimimian on the field with Adam Bighill? Well, they've done it, and they're on the field together.
Both these guys, they hope, versatile enough, athletic enough, and open-minded enough, quite frankly, to have their roles altered a little bit. But I think when you've got both these guys, you make an effort somehow to try and use both of them. That's a whole lot of talent between those two guys.
It looks like it will be third down and inches. Let's go down to the sidelines now. Joining us tonight is Lee Jones. Lee?
Thanks a lot, Rod. I was talking with Anton McKenzie before the game on what having Solomon Elimimian back in the lineup means. He talked about, well, it's great for their defense, and they'll have a rotation, so he'll slide in between McKenzie as well as Bighill at times. First couple of series, you saw Anton McKenzie in there along with Bighill, and now Solomon's getting his opportunity. McKenzie says he likes it. He might see less plays, but says it's going to keep them fresh and make this dangerous defense that much more potent, guys.
Solomon Elimimian, what a force he has become since coming to the CFL out of the University of Hawaii. So now a third down play. You see Adam Bighill right up close. Willie behind center and inches, and he will get the first down. Elimimian, of course, was the outstanding rookie a couple of seasons ago. Adam Bighill was the understudy in the linebacking core last year, learning a lot from Elimimian. Adam Bighill takes over this year with Elimimian trying to get a job down south, and Adam Bighill has not missed a beat.
No, Bighill has certainly been a force, and it's exactly what you want to maintain that continuity as you lose players to NFL tryouts, to free agency, whatever the case may be. Adam Bighill has done everything that the BC Lions have asked of him and more. And now to get Solomon Elimimian back just becomes a bonus.
15 seconds left in the first quarter. Durant goes deep, and what a knockdown by Corey Banks. That's his 6th knockdown, leading the BC Lions this season. The career interception leader in the CFL actively. Almost had a pick as well, but Corey Banks may have just saved a touchdown.
Tosh Smith looked like he had him beaten with speed. There was no question what he was doing right off the mark, and gets a little bit of separation on Corey Banks, as you see right here. But as the ball is in the air, Corey Banks keeps the arms moving, gets the head around, makes a great play on the football, but a little bit more air on that one from Darian Durant. We could be talking touchdown right now.
Final play, first quarter. Four-man rush. Dressler down near the 30, inside the 30-yard line. Elimimian comes back to make the tackle. That's one quarter down, and like the last meeting back in August in BC, very low scoring. In fact, no scoring after one quarter, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders are on the move and threatening. 0-0 after one.